Donald Trump, hands down, whenever you put him on the air, now this is before he was running for president, he was an open book.
We have to talk about Donald Trump. He's a big character in the book because
he was a big character on my show.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You say one of your best guests ever.
They were fond of quoting that Donald Trump had said something to the effect that STDs were his personal Vietnam.
It was a moment no one saw coming. Raw, shocking, and deeply personal. Howard Stern, never one to shy away from controversy, took to the airwaves and detonated a bombshell that has since consumed headlines and sparked chaos within the Trump inner circle. On his nationally broadcast radio show, Stern launched into a brutal monologue that pulled no punches, targeting Donald Trump and, more explosively, lifting the veil on what he called the disgusting truth behind Trump's marriage to Melania. And the fallout? Immediate, fiery, and filled with emotion, especially from Melania herself.
When journalists took it and made it serious, I thought it was a little bit unfair. Having said that, though, Donald Trump would come on my show, and this is why he was great. Most people, if they're having that thought, keep that pretty guarded. Not Donald. He was right into it. There was no filter. I go, Donald, Angelina Jolie, she's one of the most beautiful actresses in the world. She's a 6.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. According to multiple sources, Melania Trump was absolutely livid when the clip of Stern's rant reached her. It wasn't just what Stern said, it was how he said it. The radio icon, known for his biting honesty, called Trump's relationship with Melania a performance, adding that no one believes they're in love. Not anymore. He alleged that their interactions were so staged and so cold that even longtime staffers inside the Trump household were uncomfortable witnessing it. There's no affection, no warmth, nothing that resembles a real marriage, Stern said. It's all optics, and it's honestly disgusting.
Do you feel that in some way you helped make him president?
Absolutely. Because Donald would come on my show. I mean, look.
Does it make you feel bad or good?
What is it about public service? What is it that drives her? What was it like when she saw when her husband becomes president? Like in Moby Dick, I was chasing her. She was my obsession. I wanted to see Hillary Clinton win. And I thought if she had come on the show, the way I helped Donald was I let him come on and be a personality.
Melania, often silent during media storms, reportedly lost her composure after hearing the remarks. One source close to the family described her as white hot with rage and said she smashed her phone against the counter after watching the viral clip. What truly enraged her was the implication that she was part of a charade, that her marriage was a soulless transaction paraded around for political gain. She has spent years enduring media scrutiny, but this felt different. This was public humiliation from one of the most influential voices in media, and she was done staying quiet. Behind closed doors, the situation escalated quickly. According to insiders, Melania confronted Donald in a storm of emotion, demanding to know why someone like Stern, who once counted Trump as a regular guest, would go so far. Trump, reportedly caught off guard, downplayed the segment, dismissing it as just Howard being Howard. But Melania wasn't buying it. She wanted accountability, not excuses.
We have to talk about Donald Trump. He's a big character in the book because
he was a big character on my show.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You say one of your best guests ever.
Most people, if they're having that thought, keep that pretty guarded. Not Donald. He was right into it. Like in Moby Dick, I was chasing her. She was my obsession. I wanted to see Hillary Clinton win. And I thought if she had come on the show, the way I helped Donald was I let him come on and be a personality.
Sources say this wasn't the first time she had grown tired of defending or ignoring public attacks against her marriage. But Stern's remarks struck a nerve because they echoed the very thing she'd tried hardest to deny, that the marriage was crumbling under the weight of spectacle and scandal. In private, she's confided to close friends that the pressure has become unbearable. The staged photo ops, the icy public appearances, the long stretches of silence between them, all of it has taken a toll. Howard Stern didn't stop at just one rant. In follow-up remarks, he doubled down. "Melania always looks like she wants to be anywhere else," he said. "She's checked out. Who wouldn't be?" That follow-up clip poured gasoline on an already burning fire. It spread like wildfire across social media platforms, picking up millions of views in just hours. TikToks were made, reaction videos went viral, and meme culture took over, further aggravating Melania's rage and humiliation. In Trump circles, damage control mode was activated instantly. Public relations strategists were deployed, statements were drafted, and talking points circulated. Trump's defenders rushed to call Stern irrelevant and desperate for attention, but the damage had already been done. The public had seen the cracks, and now they had a voice as loud as Stern pointing directly at them. Meanwhile, Melania withdrew from public appearances, canceling 2 scheduled events in Florida with little explanation. She has always kept a tight lid on her personal reactions, but this time, her absence screamed louder than any press statement. Those close to her say she feels betrayed, not just by Stern, but by her own husband's lack of defense or emotional support. "He just brushed it off like it didn't matter," one confidant shared. And that hurt her more than the insult itself. The implications for the former first couple are serious. This latest eruption has reignited discussions about the state of their relationship, conversations that had, for a time, cooled in the public sphere. Political commentators are once again speculating about how long the marriage can withstand such relentless public pressure. Others argue that Melania is too proud to walk away, too strategic to make any move without control over the narrative. Yet the cracks are undeniable. Stern didn't invent them. He just shined a spotlight on what many had long suspected. And Melania, for the first time in a long while, seemed to let the mask slip. Her anger wasn't just about Stern's words. It was about years of holding in the humiliation, the compromises, and the public ridicule. For Donald Trump, this moment is another in a long line of personal and political firestorms. But unlike lawsuits, indictments, or political scandals, this one strikes at the core of his image, the myth of being a strong, powerful man with the perfect trophy wife by his side. Stern's words, amplified by Melania's visible fury, pierce that illusion. As the days pass, no formal response has come from Melania directly. No statement, no interview, just silence. But insiders say that silence is temporary. They believe something has shifted permanently. Whether it leads to a public fallout, a quiet exit, or just more tightly managed appearances remains to be seen. What's certain is that Howard Stern said aloud what millions have been whispering for years. And in doing so, he may have triggered a reckoning behind the golden doors of Mar-a-Lago that no one, not even Donald Trump, can contain.